If somebody would have told me that my life would be what it is right now, a year to 10 years ago, I would have laughed in their face. The life that I have now, it's interesting when you pray for the life that you want. You think it tends to be not all of the things. Like you could see the vision, like, okay, I prayed for this. But I feel like nobody ever talks about what comes with it. So I figure let's just get into it. If we go back to when I was a little girl, I remember always envisioning myself owning multiple properties, speaking to large crowds, doing all these things. But it's interesting how you go through life and you kind of tend to settle a little bit. And then it's so interesting because within the past year, my life began to slowly change. And I'm going to take you on a little journey. So when I began to realize that I was an entrepreneur, I was working a full-time job at my local county. I was a supervisor position and I was overseeing clerks. And it's interesting because you pray for something in a season and you're like, okay, God, you'll do it, maybe or maybe not, if we'll really be honest, because I feel like nobody ever talks really about that, about like sometimes not believing what God will maybe do for you or maybe not do for you. But I remember sitting at my county job, thinking in my head, there has to be more. There has to be more on this earth for me to do. There has to be more. And as I began to push myself, it took years. Like, did I already say years, y'all? It took years. So I am a full-time entrepreneur now. I have 6 kids. I am married. Did I say that I'm a full-time entrepreneur? Because that means I'm not all the way here, y'all. Me and my husband are planting a church. Okay, we are in ministry. And on top of that, just all of it, doing it all. The meetings, the Zoom calls, the this, the that. I feel like nobody talks about not having money, and then not having money again. And as I began to go on the journey from the time span during pandemic, I quit my job. I remember quitting, sitting in the email saying, I'm betting on God. Like nothing else, like me sitting at this desk cannot be what I'm called to do for the rest of my life. So I betted on him. And I knew that me becoming a leader one day and me being in business full time, I didn't think I would get here. And it's interesting that as I take you on this journey with me, that sometimes we fixate on, is God going to do it? Is God not going to do it? But we never tell the mountain where it needs to move. And I feel like that is what I hope and pray that you get from this. Because when I remember being at my county job, I remember sitting at the desk and tears would just start falling down my face because I would be so sad that I was there. I was a single mom at the time. My daughter was like 7 or 8 years old. And I remember getting even my raises out the county and there were 25 cents, y'all. 25 cents. We're talking about praying itself outside of that cubicle, because all I had was a little cubicle at the county and I would get my raise and taxes would take it. But I knew I had a vision and I had a prayer. If we ever get to a place where there's more and you know that there's more, just know that's God, like literally pulling you. Like he's literally pulling you, telling you, baby, trust me, baby girl. Just trust me, trust me, trust me. And as I began to go on the journey, even with the tears in my eyes, even with me not like visibly able to see that he was going to change the trajectory of my life, I would not be sitting here and sharing my testimony with you. Building the life that I prayed for, that I'm living in, is a testament to God, what he will do with the person that gives them a complete yes. Building the life I prayed for. And I want to make sure we're clear that this is not a pretending. Like I remember even after praying to God for the life that I live in, quitting my job, me and my husband, we were going up and down in finances in that first year, where I was like, I may need to go apply for the county again. And I don't know if they would hire me because I quit and checked with the deuces, but I was like, do I need to go work for Chase at the teller bank and be counting this money to somebody? Because the money isn't money in. The money was not coming in. It was not flowing. And it's interesting because with entrepreneurship, maybe you actually got to work. Like there are no days off. Like you have to be days on. And it's interesting when you want to trust God and you're like, okay, God, well, you late. because that bill, that rent, that mortgage, that car note, my kids need to eat, my life insurance, my car insurance, my cell phone bill, it is due. And when you build the life that you pray for, you have to trust in the God that sometimes you cannot see. You can't see it. You have an inkling, you have faith. There's like something that's in your gut that's telling you there's more. You have to keep pressing. Like you literally have like the faith of a mustard seed, and you know you have to press in. And I want to just share and give the truth that me leaving my job, trusting God, giving him my yes, was the most hardest thing I have ever done in the trajectory of my life. Having a baby, naturally, 2 times, hardest thing was giving him my yes. Getting married, raising children in this generation, hardest thing was giving him my yes, because my yes was going to come with spiritual warfare. My yes was going to come with people talking about me. My yes was going to come with not having money sometimes. My yes was going to come from God asking me, Jessica, do you trust me or do you not trust me? And leaving comfort is not the easiest thing. It's so interesting because what I've realized, and that's something that I want to even encourage you to live by, and push yourself to always be in uncomfortable spaces. So if you need to have a conversation that you don't want to have, go do it. It pushes you past your limit. If you need to be uncomfortable, maybe you got to a place in your job where it's super comfortable and you're making great money, or you're not making great money, but you kind of just settled, push yourself to get uncomfortable. Leaving comfort is not easy. Leaving comfort will have you in spaces where everybody is going this way and it's the crowd. And it may be your friends and maybe your family, and you have to go this way. So if we're talking about 1,000 people, 100 people, 10 million people are going this way, what does it look like for you to be the one that goes this way? Because that's where God is leading you. Leaving comfort, I've realized the most extreme level of love that God has given me, because he has given me the ability to walk away when he tells me to walk away. I don't no longer like being comfortable, because it's not like I'm always chasing for anything, but I understand in order for me to grow, I have to get uncomfortable. And I feel like a lot of times we're not having those honest conversations about leaving comfort. It is time for you to step out. It is time for you to trust God for more. It is time for you to leap, take the leap, make the decision, build the relationship, take the risk. And taking the risk can change your life and literally pull the scales off your eyes for you to realize there's more. I have realized with leaving comfort, my yes will take me to places people in my family, not in my family, that's around me, will never be able to see, because they would rather say yes to man instead of yes to God. Saying yes to God will be the absolute best decision that you will ever make in your life. And if you are an entrepreneur and desire to be it, and if you are that level of crazy faith like me, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable. You have to leave the comfort. You can't stay there. If you choose to be at a place where you want to leave comfort and you want to say yes to God, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to leap out of the space that you're no longer in to get to where you need to be. Nobody talks about the hard times, and you may sometimes go without. What does it look like for you to make a level of money and steward it well, so that when you go through the hard seasons, you're not stressed out because you just didn't spend everything. You stored it what you had until you were able to build the strategy within the business to catapult the business so that you can sustain yourself maybe when you hit a dry season. I'm documenting this journey because I desire, this is my heart, I desire more women to understand that their capacity can grow. Like, you can do the hard thing. You can do the challenging thing. You can trust God at another level. But with that, it's realizing that the life that you prayed for, the life that you desire to build, the kingdom life that God wants to bestow and like give to you, he wants to gift it to you, it's going to come at a cost. And what the cost consists of, it's going to come to a place where it's going to have to challenge you to get uncomfortable and push yourself beyond places and spaces that you have never been. But when you do, it will it will be the most beautiful thing that you can gift yourself and your family, only if you want to build the life that you prayed for. And there is no level of pretending here. You'll get caught up and you'll become so dry. But what I have learned is the generous God has given us the ultimate compass. And I believe when people call this the business Bible, like it has weathered the ultimate test and storm, but it takes a yes for you to consistently get to where you need to be. Build the life that God has told you to build. Build the life that you prayed for. He gave it to you for a reason. He understands. He has designed you. He loves you enough to see that he has called you for more, but trust it. Trust that mustard seed of faith, if that is all you have, to take the leap and watch your lineage, your life change for the better, to show up in real form, authentic form, to build the life that you prayed for. You're worthy of God's best.